An unexpected visitor may have entered through a hidden opening. You might have first perceived it as a faint, irregular fluttering in the dimness. Then, upon illuminating the space, you spotted it. A bat, performing rapid, disorienting aerial maneuvers within your bedroom or living area. Its wings moved with near silence, guiding its flight through the confines of the room with an astonishing precision. Seemingly improbable for something moving at such speed indoors. Your immediate reaction was likely alarm, followed by an urgent desire to expel it by any means necessary. However, before you reach for a broom, fling open every window, and brace yourself for an hour of controlled apprehension, it's crucial to grasp a fundamental truth. The bat in your dwelling harbors no intention of harming you. It is not pursuing you. It is not a vector for a deadly epidemic. It simply took a wrong turn, and it is as bewildered and frightened as you are. Furthermore, the bats residing in your vicinity, whether in your attic, beneath your eaves, or within the unseen crevices behind your shutters, are performing an invaluable service for your household every single night, a contribution that most individuals fail to acknowledge. Today, we will delve into the true nature of bats, their actual activities, and why the trio of fears most commonly associated with them in America is either overblown, misunderstood, or entirely unfounded. Let us commence with the apprehension that fuels nearly every unexpected bat encounter within an American home: rabies. The very utterance of the word is sufficient to trigger widespread panic, and this reaction is not entirely baseless. Rabies is a formidable illness, and bats are indeed recognized as a natural reservoir for the virus. Nevertheless, the perceived risk, as understood by the majority, is vastly disproportionate to the actual statistical reality. According to the Centers for Disease Control, fewer than 10 individuals succumb to rabies in the United States annually. While the majority of these fatalities involve bats, the absolute figures remain exceptionally low when measured against the general population. The likelihood of contracting rabies from a bat that enters your residence without direct physical contact, meaning without a bite or a scratch, is effectively non-existent. The virus is transmitted through the introduction of infected saliva into a wound or onto a mucous membrane. A bat circulating in your room does not constitute a rabies transmission event. The cautious advice offered by health authorities, recommending medical assessment if you awaken to discover a bat in the room where you slept, as a bite from a small bat can be imperceptible, is a prudent measure. However, it reflects an appropriate level of vigilance for a disease that, once symptomatic, has no known cure, rather than an indicator that encounters with bats are inherently perilous. Less than 1% of wild bats subjected to testing are found to carry the rabies virus. The bat that has entered your attic is almost certainly not among them. Now, let us address the second apprehension: vampires. Out of the approximately 1,400 known species of bats globally, precisely 3 subsist on blood. All 3 species are exclusively found in Central and South America. Not a single one of them inhabits the United States. The bat in your garden, your attic, or your bedroom is an insectivore. It subsists entirely on insects and has absolutely no interest in your blood, your neck, or any other aspect of your person, save for the insects attracted to your porch light. The myth of the vampire bat has endured in American culture for over a century, perpetuated by literature and cinematic portrayals rather than by biological fact. The reality is that the bat sharing your neighborhood functions as the antithesis of a predator to humans. It is a predator of the very insects that torment you. And the third fear, the notion of bats becoming entangled in hair, is perhaps the most easily debunked. A bat's echolocation system, which we will examine in detail shortly, is capable of detecting objects smaller than a human hair from distances of several meters. A bat navigating a room containing a person is meticulously tracking every object within that space with exceptional accuracy. It is not going to fly into your hair. In fact, it is actively evading you. The seemingly erratic flight pattern that appears so alarming is, in reality, the bat's determined effort to locate an exit, not an indication that it is targeting anyone in the room. 3 fears, 3 misconceptions. None of them withstand scrutiny when confronted with actual biological understanding. Now, let us consider what the bat is actually accomplishing, for this is where the narrative becomes truly extraordinary. The bat hunts by employing sound, not sight, Sound. It emits pulses of ultrasonic noise, typically ranging from 20,000 to 100,000 hertz, frequencies far beyond the scope of human hearing. These pulses radiate outward, strike objects in the environment, and return as echoes. The bat's brain processes these echoes in real time, constructing a precise three-dimensional mental map of its surroundings, encompassing the distance, size, shape, texture, and velocity of every object in its path. This mechanism, known as echolocation, enables a bat to navigate in absolute darkness with an accuracy comparable to the most advanced human-made radar systems. It can detect a wire less than 1 millimeter in thickness while in flight. It can track an individual moth through a dense forest of branches. It can differentiate between a leaf and an insect of identical dimensions based on the subtle variations in the echoes each produces. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University and other institutions have studied bat echolocation as a paradigm for engineering applications, including sonar systems for submarines, navigational tools for autonomous vehicles, and assistive technologies for individuals with visual impairments. The bat diligently hunting moths above your garden at night is equipped with one of the most sophisticated biological sensor systems ever subjected to scientific investigation. And every pulse it emits is directed towards something that, in most instances, you would prefer not to have in close proximity to your home. A single bat actively hunting throughout a warm summer night can consume thousands of insects, including mosquitoes, gnats, moths, beetles, and other nocturnal flying insects that prey on your plants, breed in stagnant water, and inflict bites upon you and your family during outdoor activities. The economic benefit of bat-driven pest control across North America is estimated to be in the billions of dollars annually. Bats consume vast quantities of moths and beetles that damage crops, which would otherwise necessitate chemical interventions for control. The bats in your vicinity are not merely ornamental, they are functional. They are conducting an aerial pest management operation above your property every night, processing insects with a speed and efficiency that no trap, no pesticide spray, and no electric zapper can remotely match. Let us now turn our attention to the biological attributes that have positioned the bat as one of the most intensely studied animals in contemporary medical research, and why an animal so often associated with disease in popular consciousness is, from a scientific standpoint, one of the most medically intriguing creatures on the planet. Bats are the natural hosts for a remarkable array of viruses, including coronaviruses, filoviruses akin to Ebola, and others that have precipitated significant human outbreaks when they have transferred to other species. This fact, widely disseminated in recent years, has amplified the apprehension and misunderstanding surrounding bats in popular culture. However, the narrative that garners considerably less attention is this: bats carry these viruses without succumbing to severe illness. Their immune systems have evolved a relationship with viral pathogens that fundamentally differs from that of any other mammalian group. Instead of initiating the aggressive inflammatory response that causes substantial damage in human viral infections, bat immune systems appear to tolerate viral presence at a regulated level, effectively suppressing inflammation while maintaining sufficient immune activity to prevent the virus from overwhelming the host. Researchers at the University of California and other institutions are investigating bat immune biology precisely because an understanding of how bats coexist with viruses without falling ill may yield insights into the development of antiviral therapies for humans. The bat is not a harbinger of disease. It is a living exemplar of disease resistance, and the scientific community is observing it with great interest. There is one additional facet to the bat's story that directly intersects with your garden and your yard, and it is this dimension that renders their protection not just significant, but critically urgent. Bat populations across North America are experiencing a precipitous decline. The primary instigator is a fungal ailment known as white nose syndrome, caused by the pathogen Pseudogymnoascus destructans. This disease has claimed the lives of an estimated 6 million bats in North America since its initial detection in a New York cave in 2006. It propagates through bat hibernation sites, disrupting the hibernation cycle and compelling bats to deplete their fat reserves, leading to starvation before the arrival of spring. The diminution of bat populations carries measurable repercussions for agriculture, for pest control efforts, and for the ecosystems that depend on the insect populations that bats ordinarily regulate. In regions where bat populations have collapsed, agricultural pest damage has escalated, and the expense of chemical pest control has risen in direct correlation. The bat colony residing beneath your eaves, or concealed within the gap behind your shutters, or inhabiting a hollow tree at the periphery of your property, is not an inconvenience. It represents a dwindling segment of a population that is genuinely struggling, performing a vital function within an increasingly scarce habitat. Therefore, what is the appropriate course of action when you discover a bat within your home? Maintain your composure, open a window or a door leading to the exterior, and provide the bat with an unobstructed egress. If feasible, extinguish interior lights. Bats navigate more effectively in darkness and are drawn toward external light sources. Refrain from attempting to capture or handle the bat with your bare hands. In the vast majority of instances, the bat will naturally find its own way out within a matter of minutes. If a bat has been present in a room where an individual was sleeping, or where a child or a pet was present and unsupervised, consult your local health department for guidance. This recommendation is not predicated on a high probability of risk, but rather on the prudent precaution appropriate for a disease with severe consequences. And as for the bat colony residing in your vicinity, the one you may have contemplated evicting, allow it to remain. The minor inconvenience it may present is manageable. The indispensable service it provides is undeniable. Should the location pose a genuine problem, a professional wildlife exclusion service can humanely relocate the colony and install a bat house in close proximity, offering them an alternative roosting site while ensuring they continue their beneficial activity on your property. The bat that entered your dwelling last Tuesday was not an intruder. It was a neighbor who had strayed, and the colony from which it originated has been silently, invisibly safeguarding your yard, your garden, and your summer evenings from the very insects you most wish to repel every single night, without seeking any recompense. This is a valuable insight, and it warrants protection. Have you ever experienced a bat in your house or discovered a colony residing somewhere on your property? Please share your experiences in the comments section. I review every submission. And if today marks the day the most dreaded creature in your neighborhood has transformed into the most appreciated one, then a subtle but significant shift has occurred in your perception of the night. This evolution in perspective is precisely the foundation upon which this community is built. I look forward to our next encounter.